Good evening and welcome to Angel's Haven. Well, this has been an interesting few weeks. I just thought I would do two things. First of all, I thought I would catch you up on my life. And second of all, I thought I would show you the havoc that my life has wreaked on my tiny house. Now, my purpose in doing the first is just to maintain a connection, and the purpose in doing the second is uh, to perhaps convey to people who are thinking about living tiny what happens when your life becomes wildly busy and you think that you don't own very much and you think that your life is contained within the boxes and shelves and drawers of your tiny house. And it turns out that you come home, you're exhausted, you have a very limited amount of landing spaces, and you're too tired to put away the things of everyday life. And then suddenly 2 months have gone by, and every ring you've taken off in the last 4 weeks is sitting on your secretary desk. A pile of papers that you keep meaning to sort is sitting next to it. There's a stack of unread books or read books or a combination of read and unread books. And because you live in a tiny house, it's all right there. And until you do something about it, you can't really have anyone come into your tiny house. Although I did have someone come in and say to me, like, I'm going to judge you for having a messy house. Well, true enough, that individual will not. I know she will not. But frankly, I judge myself, and you'll judge yourself. More importantly, if you're like me, one of the reasons you like to live tiny or want to live tiny is that you want a small, contained area, a nesting area, if you will. And a nesting area is usually, for those of us who crave it, it's usually more emotionally satisfying if it's, if not neat and tidy, at least put together the way you want it put together, as opposed to messy and cluttered because you're exhausted. So, for those of you who know anything about my life, I have changed things around a little. So, if I haven't emailed you or written you or called you, this is why. So, just to recap, I work 4 days a week in the office of a California barred estate planning attorney. I work essentially in a paraprofessional capacity because I did not intend to stay in law when I moved out here, so I didn't take the California bar. Um, I could make a whole video about how I feel about that, but that bell is rung, and I'm only going to do it for another year or two at most. So there's no point. So that's 4 days a week. Up until last November, my second kind of professional undertaking was running a small not-for-profit here at Park Delta Bay, where I live. And the purpose of that not-for-profit is to promote the Delta. And originally, my tasks were just going to be like running social media Then the pandemic hit, and the president of the Delta Bay Foundation, who is the owner of the park where I live, he's the one that founded the not-for-profit. He suggested we start this market because all you could do was outdoor events. So I run this outdoor market. Originally it was every week. It's now down to about once a month from May to December, excepting September and November. So we do a spring market, June, July, and August, then harvest market in October and holiday market in December. I also put on an open house for the tiny house people and the community of tiny house aficionados in the area. There's usually a couple of hundred people there, and the last 2 years, we've done it right at Harvest Market, at the time of the Harvest Market. So I run 2 big events on one weekend. This year, we're going to try to do it a little bit differently. We're going to try to expand it and make it about sustainable living. So that's my second professional gig. And then in November, I open a shop for Delta creatives, artists, makers, even some that call themselves crafters, to sell their wares. Not a maker space, but a retail shop. That is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I basically subsidize about half of the cost of it. It's a membership, non-commission based at present. The reason for that is to give the artists an opportunity to learn their market, to get their feet on the ground, and then slowly we'll switch over to more of a membership plus commission so that I'm not subsidizing it. That's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's in the small town of Ileton, which is not where I live, but it's my mailing address. And I work there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, run it, make the decisions. Occasionally, other artists work for me so I can have a day off or go do something else that I have to do. I have a friend named Michelle Burke who is pretty much equally responsible for its what I will call success. She does all the labor and most of the dispassionate thinking. I do the marketing and the coordinating and the working and the emotional thinking. So there you go. So all of that has means that I'm working 7 days a week. And I'm tired all the time. Actually, I was already tired all the time because that's the nature of my physical disability, if disability is a word for it. Condition, let's say condition. Then I have what's called fatigue even at rest. I can make myself less sleepy, but not less tired, if that makes sense. So some would say that I keep myself busy because I have no actual life. In fact, I say that all the time. I do have friends, but they have their own lives. They have partners and children and grandchildren. I do have acquaintances, same thing, they have their own lives. I'm not really included in any of that. Michelle and I go to dinner about once a week, maybe twice. I told someone once that Michelle was my only friend. And they turned to Michelle and said, well, that must be a burden. I don't really know exactly what that meant. And in all fairness to the wonderful people here, she's not my only friend, but she is my only social life. Let's just say that. I don't know how her partner Don would feel about that, but I think he likes me. So, He tolerates it. I do have other friends, but their social lives and mine, such as it is, don't intersect. Um, so I guess I take on those projects in part because that's my nature, but in part because why not? What else do I have to do? Although, one thing I could do would be to clean my house. And I learned a long time ago that I value a clean house. I particularly value a clutter-free house. And I do like a small space, but I like it to be small and clean and clutter-free. So, if you're planning on going tiny and you're not going to retire or at least only work 3 or 4 days a week, then the less stuff you have, even less than you think, the better. Uh, and as humans, some of us, this might not apply to minimalists, but the rest of us tend to acquire things. We have a bag, we see another bag. It's we want it, we like it, we acquire it. So then we have to get rid of the first bag. That's bags are my downfall. I love leather bags, and I'm always trying to. I often see one on Poshmark that's better than what I'm carrying and less expensive compared with a new one, and I have to delete Poshmark for months at a time, or I would be able to open a handbag shop, frankly. So the moral of that story is less might not be more, but it's definitely less. So I'm going to do two things now that I've caught you up and told you what's going on. I'm going to give you a little purview of just the first floor to show you how messy it looks. And then I'm going to do a little domestic chore and film it because I think it's going to work. And whether it works or not, the fact that I'm doing it and doing it myself speaks to something about this topic. I'm not sure what, but I'll think about it and maybe I'll make the connection, or maybe I'll make the connection. So I'll do a little wrap up and maybe I'll have made that connection by the time it's all said and done. So I'm going to put you on pause and do a little twirl around. So this is what the place looks like when it's kind of a mess. I'm not going to go into the bathroom because, I mean, it's just a bathroom. It's not that messy. But it's not messy, but it needs to be clean. So dishes are not put away. The counter is not clean. And there you see the project that you're going to watch me do. And I'll explain in a minute. Big shout out to Dave Michael for that sunflower there, and Genevieve Casey for that sunflower and the angel. Mess on my new little cherry table. Stack of books. There's my latest bag. Okay, I just have to brag about this bag for a minute. So let me turn this around. No, let's not. You can hear my voice. I don't know how I would look if I turned it around. It might blur out. I mean, I don't know if it'd be in focus. But anyway, I have a green, small Kate Spade handbag, which you might see in a minute, that my sister Joyce found at a Goodwill in St. Charles for like $6. Being from Kansas City, I'm really fond of Kate Spade. I realized she sold her handbag company a couple of years before she passed. And even though the Kate Spade I have is probably a vintage, it probably postdates her selling the company. However, I'm still fond of hers. I have a Kate Spade wallet. I wear Kate Spade glasses. I was really sad when she died. So, anyway, my sister Joyce gave me a Kate Spade handbag. I really like it. And then I was trying to date it, and I discovered that before she passed away, Kate Spade started a new company called Frances Valentine, or maybe Valentine. And after she died, her partner kept up the company using her designs, which, the company owned. And this is a Frances Valentine or Valentine bag. And I found it's actually got a different strap on it than I got with it because I had a bag that had a strap I liked better. And so I switched them. And I bought this bag on Poshmark for $20 and it retails for, I authenticated it. It came with its tags, which they kept. And so as far as I could tell, it's authentic. And it retails for $429. So not only do I love it, but I got a good deal. So anyway, there's the mess on the stairs. I really have to do something about this. I sit in this chair to get dressed in the morning and do my hair, which is kind of a laugh because all I do is put curled cream in it and either wear it down or wear it up. But there it all sits. My keys from not on my key thing, which is up there. You'd think I would have it on there. There it is. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Why don't I have my keys on there? I don't know. There is the mess on my beautiful secretary. Every ring I've worn all week. My hands get swollen. I come home and the first thing I do is take them off. There used to be a little dish there. I don't know where it is. It might be under the rubble. There's a tea bag holder on there. I wasn't putting it on there with tea in it. I had it in my bag and took it out. So there, let me see if I can get up. There's the lovely Kate Spade bag. There's a leather backpack that I also got on Poshmark and it didn't really work out. It's just a weird shape, that's why. I haven't put away my winter hats. And I have way too many shoes because I actually had to bump up a shoe size for the first time in my adult life. So I bought 3 pairs of shoes from Poshmark. Very nice pairs. One which I have on right here, Doc Martens. Another pair of Doc Martens, those green ones on the top shelf on the right end. So basically, the shoes on the top shelf are the newer size, and the shoes on the bottom shelf are my long-standing size of European 37 or Australian 4, and maybe a UK 4. And I can't wear them. So that's what happens when you get busy. You get these little piles of things. Now, I'm not going to show you the bedroom, which is up there, and which is a holy terror mess. But I am going to do a little project and show you that. So I'm going to put you on pause and move over to the sink. So somewhere I have a little tripod, but I can't find it. So that's okay. You can see from this angle. So here's what we're doing. I'm really kind of proud of myself, I hope, if this works. So this is my kitchen faucet. And this was the sprayer attachment. And this is the pieces part. Whoops, now in the sink of the sprayer attachment. So I have, see, It fell apart. Fell apart. So, I have a friend and neighbor who's a plumber, and I had asked him about this sprayer attachment, but he is really busy. Can you see me? No, you can't see me. Oh, there I am. So he's really busy and he didn't have time to help me. So I got on Amazon and I found this, and I did serious measuring. I checked the diameter, I checked the outer diameter, the inner diameter, and I checked the thread mechanism, and I checked the inset mechanism. That's not the right name for it, but you just saw me open it. I have no idea if it fits. They look the same. They look as though they're the same diameter. And I'm going to, my understanding is that if this is the right size, I could just screw it on there and it'll work. So I'm going to see if that's true. If it doesn't fit, I'm going to feel really, well, I won't feel stupid. I'll be sad though. I keep telling I was not one of those people that knew the expression righty-tighty, lefty-loosey when I was a kid, but I learned it when I was an adult. Oh, I should be showing you this. Okay, there it is. There it is. See? It fit. I'm so proud of myself. Now, let's see if it works. I'm a little weirded out by the fact that this has one button and this has two buttons. I don't know what they do. I don't know what the second one does. I know what the one button on the broken one did, but let's see what happens. Oh, maybe you should be able to see it a little better. Ooh, there it is. Oh, look at that. Now, what do you think? See? Up, unspray, spray. I'm so proud of myself. Now for the mystery button. Oh, that's very cool. I don't know why you never want to do that. So the second button, can you see? Okay, you can interrupt the flow. Now, I don't know why you do that, but apparently you'd want to, and I'm really proud of myself. So, now I can throw this away, and let me see. The moral of this story is one of the reasons that I decided to go tiny. Gosh, sorry, you just got an unrelenting view of my 68-year-old neck. So, I'm going to sit down again. Let's see, you're sitting on a box. I really have to find that tripod. But one of the reasons I wanted to go tiny was I love my house, don't get me wrong. I really miss my house. When I go back to Kansas City, I can't even bring myself to drive. I go 4 blocks out of my way to avoid driving past my house. I miss it insanely. I had no idea how I would feel about it. But I knew that I couldn't take care of it. I couldn't do the work. And I was reasonably sure that the house would start to decline. It was already declining. After 3 years of living there, after the last of my 300 divorces, and I didn't want to see it deteriorate. I love the house. I did not think I could take care of it. So here I am. I just put on a new sprayer head. And yeah, I could probably have done that at home at my traditional house, but it would have been one thing among 5,000 things. Whereas here, I only have to clean my house uh, and find people to do things like weed eat my lot. Occasionally, something relatively minor will break. I think of a tiny house like a 1970 Chevy Nova. It doesn't have a lot of parts, and most of them don't move. um, and I don't know if you're aware of this about me, but I once rebuilt the carburetor of a 1970 Chevy Nova. Um, and it was very satisfying, but I wouldn't want to make a habit of it. I'll tell you that story sometime. It might be in my book. I can't remember. So there you have it. Messy house, 7 days a week work, but by God, I just put a new sprayer head on my kitchen faucet. So thanks for spending a few minutes of my tiny life with me, and I hope you'll uh, think seriously about structuring your space, whether it's tiny or big, and making it so that even if you work 7 days a week, it's comfortable and the level of cleanliness and lack of clutter that works for you. Um, and thanks for spending a few minutes of my tiny life with me. And I'll see you next time.